Hey guys, welcome back. So I've created a document for you guys where I've listed out all the parameters that we need for our family. We've created a bunch of these parameters in the previous videos. Now we will add some of these new parameters and then make this family a very advanced parametric family. We also have a very advanced formula here, which is an if-else statement. Now Revit helps you to create logical statements as well, and I'll show you how this works shortly. You'll find the link in the description. All right, to start off, let's place our chair in this family. So we'll need to load a new family into this project. So let's go to Insert and click on Load Family here. Now let's go to the previous exercise files and select our 3D chair family and click on Open. Now to place your 3D chair family here, simply go to Create, click on Component, and then place it in place. Now we'll need to lock this 3D chair family with a bunch of reference planes, and we also need to assign some parameters to this 3D family. So let's first create some of these parameters in our family types. So let's go to Family Types here. And to create new parameters, simply click on Create New Parameter here. All right, so we need to create a bunch of parameters based on our document. So the first parameter would be the chair width. This can be an instance parameter, and then click on OK. Let's create another parameter. This would be the chair depth. So I'm going to quickly create all of these parameters that you can see in your document. What's also interesting is we have something called Edit Tooltip here. Now, in case you would like to describe what this parameter is, you can do so. For example, this is the actual depth of a chair. So you can see the tooltip describes this parameter as actual depth of a chair. Now this is just in case you need to describe all of the parameters so that it is useful for your future colleagues. So let's click on OK here. And I'm going to go ahead and create all the parameters as a time lapse. You guys can go do so as well. What's also important is that you give a potential value here. So for chair depth, we can give say about 450 mm and chair width as well. So make sure you create the parameters and give a potential value here. All right, so I'm going to start the time lapse. And make sure all of these parameters are instance parameters. That is also important, which I forgot to mention. So make sure these are instance parameters. All right, so I've created some of these parameters here. That should suffice for now. Now we will add the other parameters later. So let's click on OK. Now we'll need to create some reference planes. So let's tap RP on our keyboard and create some reference planes here. Now what I would also like to do is make sure that my new reference planes are of a different color. So let's go to Manage here, click on Object Styles, go to Annotation Objects, and under Reference Planes, click on New, and make sure this is a reference plane. New. So I'm going to give a name called reference plane new, and it is a subcategory of reference plane. Let's change the color to red, and let's change this to aligning line. Now simply select these dimension lines here, the new ones, not the existing ones which came with the template, just the new ones, and change the subcategory to reference plane new. This way you can see which reference plane is new and which is existing. All right, so now let's create some dimensions. So this dimension, so let's create a dimension from this reference plane to this reference plane. And then simply select your dimension and assign the right parameter. Now in this case, it would be the chair offset. And then let's create another reference plane here. This can also be a new reference plane. And then create a dimension from here to here. Now this would be the array length width. All right, so we have some reference planes in place. We also need an offset here. So let's create a reference plane here and call this reference plane new. Let's create a dimension from this reference plane, the edge, to this reference plane here. Now this is going to be our table offset, but there is no table offset parameter. So let's create a new parameter and call this table offset. Now this can be a type parameter. I will not be changing the table offset. All right, perfect. So now we can align our chair to these reference planes. So tap AL and align your chair. So you need to select the reference plane first and then the object and then lock it in place. Similarly here as well. Perfect. So now we have one chair here, but we also need to associate the chair width with the new parameters that we created in our family types. So select your chair, click on edit type here, and then we have width here. So you can associate this with our chair width parameter. So now you can see it changes automatically to 450 and we can control the chair width as well. Perfect. What I also like to do is add a reference plane here and then create a dimension this way. This would be the chair width parameter. This is just so that I can select the intersection point here when I'm arraying this, when I'm going to array this chair. If you like, you can go ahead and organize your dimensions a bit better. In case they are overlapping each other, you can sort of arrange these dimensions so that it looks more organized. All right, so now we can array this chair all the way to this point here. So we're going to array it from this point to this point. So select your object, click on the array tool or tap AR on your keyboard. And then what you need to do is you need to group and associate and you need to move to last and make sure constraint is on as well. So it's going to be a linear array. So I'm going to start from this point. So tap SI to select this point here and then go all the way to this point here and then click to place it in place. What I also like to do is lock this just so that it doesn't move in our project. So I'm going to tap AL on my keyboard and then align this to our reference plane. Perfect. Now select your group and then click on this line here, which is the array line. And we can associate a parameter to this array line as well. So let's create a new parameter. And in this case, it's going to be our chair count width. So this is the number of chairs along the width of our table. So this can be an instance parameter. And we can group it under constraints. Then click on OK. Now I'd like to control the chair count based on the width of our table and our chair spacing as well. So we can add a formula to our family types. So let's go to our family types here. And next to chair count width, we can add our formula here. So tap in if. So this is going to be our table width. If open brackets, table width. So if our table width is less than 1400 mm, I'm going to use 0 chairs. I'll show you how to use visibility graphics later. So let's keep it at 0 or let's keep it at 1 for now. So when it's less than 1400 mm, I would like to show only one chair for our table. Now, if it is more than 1400 mm, you need to make sure you give a comma as well. So when it is less than 1400 mm, it's just one chair. And if it's more than 1400 mm, it needs to adjust based on the length. So we need to add a formula here. So it can be round down, which is rounding down a number to the lowest decimal. So if let's say you have 3.5, it would round down to 3, or 3.6, it would go round down to 3 and so on. So let's round down our table width. So table underscore width. Make sure it is the same name as what is mentioned here. So right now you can see that it is table width. Even the case is important here. It needs to be uppercase here, the first letter. So it would be table underscore width -2 into our chair offset. And then it should be divided by our chair width plus our chair spacing. And then close brackets.